Welcome back to Lost Legacies. I'm Matt.
I'm Sam.
So, I think some congratulations are in order. Sam, you want to tell us why?
What? To who? To what? I don't. I don't know what you're talking about. I only just finished funding an entire comic book.
Hell yeah!
We did it, y'all. We did it. We got our Kickstarter fully funded, which means that as of right now, well, technically, I guess since like 2019, but like it's more solidified right now. I'm like officially a comic book writer. Like I can put that on resumes and stuff. Like that's
Yeah, I mean, you could have been doing that since 2019.
Well, I could have, but now that I'm gonna have a graphic novel coming out, that's where it's at.
Are you now a graphic novelist?
No, I'm a comic book writer. Oh. That's
Okay.
Yeah. Right. I feel like graphic novelist is more like that's your thing. That's what you do. Where it's like me, like no, I can spread it around. I can go anywhere. I can do anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yes, as of right now, the Kickstarter for our comic Quetzalcoatl is finished and fully funded. So a huge shout out to everybody who donated, who shared, who supported us along the way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And a special shout out to friend of the show, Daniel. You're a pledge. You're the one who pushed us over. And like not even on the final day, like you pushed us over a couple of days ahead, and you got us funded. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. So yeah. Now all we have to do is finish putting this puppy together. So we've got to get a distributor. We got to get things printed. We got to make sure that all the prints are okay. That everything is up to snuff. So I believe the timeline right now for everything is to be delivered not this December, next December. So December. Nice. 2023. And I'll be keeping everybody updated on my own page. We'll be updating the Kickstarter page. So if you've donated, you'll get all the updates there. And I'll also be sharing updates as I have them here on Lost Legacies. So just once again, thank you so much.
Yeah, we got to say too that like this show, I know we joke about it, but this show does have a lot of friends. But and we've mentioned Dan before, but he was the first one to reach out to us about the podcast, who wasn't someone we knew already. It was just through Twitter. He found us, started listening, and since then, like he supported us with this project and all our other stuff, like Sam's Comics and the Adventures of Cinnamon and Oatmeal, our other podcast. Dan's been there the whole time, so huge thanks to Dan. I think, I mean, it's so cool. It was such a cool feeling to because we have people we know and love, family and friends who listen and support, but when someone who doesn't know you is taking time out of their day to listen to whatever it is you made or you're providing, it's just hits differently, and the fact that Dan has stayed with us this whole time, power to you, Dan. And now, if you're listening to this podcast, the Kickstarter is already over. But as of recording this, we still have like, how many hours we got? 6, 8? For your Kickstarter. Yeah. So we'll probably talk about this next time as well, when we actually see what's like the final total they're able to raise for the comic book. That's so exciting, man. Good job. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, now I'm stumped. Because I was going to try and find a segue into the Kickstarter, into this episode. But I started talking about Dan, and I stopped thinking about a segue. So, I guess we're going to talk about Lost this week. That's the segue.
As opposed to any other week where we don't talk about Lost.
Yep, that's right. Oh man, but that's right.
I guess I would say it's all about support. People supporting each other makes the world go around.
That's a good point. No one gets
No,
left behind.
no one gets left behind.
And that's this week's episode, season 3, episode 15, Left Behind.
Oh.
After being left behind by the others, Kate must work together with Juliet to survive. Meanwhile, Sawyer tries to win the hearts and minds of the rest of the camp.
We should take a shot for every time they say "left behind" in this episode.
Yeah, it was pretty on the nose.
Yeah,
yeah. What did you think?
Gotta be honest, man. It was fine.
Fine, really?
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and I don't know what it was, but yeah, it's just like, from the get-go of this episode all the way until the end, it's just sort of like, okay.
Well, hang on a second. You texted me at 8:32 a.m. saying, dang, heck of an episode.
Which is different than what I usually text you, which is, damn, hell of an episode.
All right, I guess so. Yeah. Heck of an episode does seem all right, I guess. It's fine. It's fine. Okay.
Also, the difference between damn and dang, it's like, yeah. Because, that's honestly, that's just, that was my joking allusion to like, yeah, this was fine, which I feel like has kind of been like the theme with like the past couple of episodes, I guess, is just like, yeah, like this is fine,
Yeah. It's interesting because we keep bringing this up as far as the flashbacks go this season. They all feel like chapters we don't really need.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we get them, but we didn't need them. And I'm really thinking of like Saeed and Claire. We could have gone through this whole series without seeing those specific flashbacks, and we would have been fine. But I think it does add a different layer to the character, or just something new. I mean, it's just it's chocolate cake. It's just more chocolate cake. Kate's this time, it was a little different because I feel the same way. We didn't need this chapter in Kate's life, but it does cross over into Sawyer's life when Kate meets up with Cassidy.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if we needed that, but sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially seeing that Cassidy eventually becomes the mother of the mother of Sawyer's daughter, I believe, right? Yeah, he had a daughter.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. But we never really see that in Sawyer's flashback because he's in prison when he finds out. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about flashbacks. What did you think about the flashbacks?
Yeah, they were fine.
Right. There's nothing really to say. I'm kind of perplexed by it. And the fact that they brought the actor who plays Edward Mars just for one quick little scene.
Yeah.
Which sucked because like that guy, he steals the scenes, man. He steals the episodes. Like he plays such a good, he's not a bad guy, but he just plays such a good jerk.
Yeah.
I love it. And he was totally wasted, this episode, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like I think it was interesting as like a juxtaposition to Kate's situation on the island, where it's like got to team up with this person, don't really know this person. But I think the difference between Cassidy and Juliet is that maybe Cassidy was better at selling that she was willing to help out Kate. And that was kind of the thing too. Like I kept waiting for like the other shoe to drop. I kept waiting for Cassidy to just like straight up and betray Kate.
I thought she was going to betray Kate or ask for something in return.
Yeah.
Cause it does kind of come out of nowhere. And I think that kind of falls more on the format of the show. Like, hey, we can only do X amount of scenes because it was really quickly. She's like, sure, I'll help you. Girls got to stick together. I'm like, all right. but when you're dealing with two criminals, there's a lot of trust issues here.
Yeah.
And then we've gone so many. We're three seasons into this show. We've seen all of Kate's backstory and how guarded she is, and all it takes is one drink, and she's revealing the whole past to Cassidy.
I know.
So it was really weird. It wasn't so much bad writing. It was just weird pacing, just weird decisions all around.
Yeah, because it's like, why is she willing to like open up to this stranger as opposed to the guy that she like really loved, who then she ended up getting killed? Like,
Right.
Like, what's the difference?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's it for flashbacks. They were okay. They weren't bad. Definitely wasn't good. It was just very weird. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. The mom, like, we didn't need that scene with her and the mom. Like, we pretty much got it the first go around when we saw her flashbacks. It just went more in depth, and I'm like, well, I think that's an interesting relationship, but we didn't need it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. As for the on island stuff, this was kind of, well, okay. Let's kind of tie the two together, because I'm trying to figure out what this episode was about. Kate, in the flashback, her whole goal is to ask her mom why she betrayed her. Like, why'd you rat me out to the cops? Kate said she did it for her. She did it for her mom. And the mom says, you did it for yourself, which I think is both true. Both of them are spit in the facts.
Yeah.
But it's just Kate's, she's very stubborn, and I think she does come from a very selfish position, both on island and in the past. And I mean, it's weird saying selfish, because, both her and her mom were victims. But I mean, yeah, that's what it was. She murdered someone, which in her mind she has total justification for. And I get that. But the fact that she's making those same types of choices on the island is hinting at something more. It's like, yeah, this is just Kate. Maybe that was like the first time she did it. That's a big thing. To murder someone is a huge deal. I don't think Kate has really murdered anyone since. I'm trying to think. Did she kill anyone on the island? I don't think so. No others.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's just the stepdad or whoever he was. So the fact that, like, the patterns repeating, not the murdering part, but the fact that she's making these choices, everyone else is wrong. Jack said this, but that's not what he meant. According to Kate, it's just like, it's a pattern. It's a pattern with her. And it really kind of came back this go around, because Juliet, unfortunately, it's Juliet's the one who tells her, you broke his heart. You broke Jack's heart. He didn't want you to come back for him. And so, Kate got like a slap in the face. Not literally, but it was a wake-up call. The fact that we can't really trust anything Juliet says, that kind of lessens it a bit.
Yeah.
But by the end of the episode, I think Kate knows what was true and what isn't. When she talks to Jack at the end. Like, okay.
I think it's mostly the fact that, like, she says that she's sorry because she believes that she's the reason why Jack can't go back. And the fact that he just doesn't say anything about Locke blowing up the submarine or anything like that. Like, I think that just really sells it as like, yeah, this wouldn't have happened if you didn't come back for me.
And that's example of characters not talking to each other that works.
Yeah.
Because I love that. Like, yeah, she would have totally she would have learned a different lesson had she known Locke blew up the sub.
Mm-hmm.
So most
Mm-hmm.
of the time, Lost, when the characters don't talk, it's very frustrating. But this time, it worked.
It worked.
You
Yeah,
know.
it worked.
Speaking of which, my boy John Locke, he's ditching them. He's going
He's
with the
gone.
others.
I know.
He's wiping his hands of the survivors. I'm like, oh wow,
And he just straight up tells Kate, he's like, Kate, I don't want to go home. Like,
yeah. Okay,
oh,
so the last
okay.
time we see Locke, well, I mean, we saw him in flashbacks last episode. The episode before that, it's the one where he's talking with Ben. He blows up the sub, and then they find Anthony Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I'm curious. We got to be missing something. What's
Mm-hmm.
going on? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and we did mention that in the episode as well. How Locke and Ben are kind of on the same team, but it's like they have different pieces of the same puzzle.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how and if they're working together now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which, like, I don't know. And it's just it's fascinating to me because Locke just looks he looked like he had like a crazed sort of glaze in his eyes. You know, like he just like, Kate, I'm just here to tell you bye. That's it. That's, I'm leaving with them, like all that. I'm like, and it's like it's so brief, like talking about characters that don't communicate. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like we're missing a lot of pieces here, John. Like
yeah,
I feel like you owe an explanation, but again, that's the show,
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Damn. Yeah, and like it was very much like I said, he's washing his hands of them like these aren't his problems anymore.
Mm-hmm,
He's off to find the bigger answers.
mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is just so bizarre. This is so weird.
Who knows? Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Juliet was really interesting this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Did you okay? What did you think? That just the whole storyline of her, of both of them waking up in the jungle, handcuffed together, all that.
Uh, on the outset, I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of them, like, obviously it's like both of them together is very contentious. We saw that in the first scene where like Kate's gonna like knock somebody, the first one that comes in, and it happens to be Juliet, and Juliet just like takes her out.
Dude, Juliet's got moves, man.
Yeah, I was so surprised.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about Kate learning some lessons this episode? Yeah, that was one of them. It's like, you're not all big and bad, Kate.
However, Kate does get her back, like dislocating her shoulder.
Yeah. She beats her bad and then dislocates her shoulder,
which is nice to see, because I feel like the others need to be reminded as well. We can't just keep killing you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that was really cool. I see the potential for them being not necessarily friends, but allies.
Enemies to lovers.
No.
My favorite trope. It's my favorite trope.
I know, but this is an early 2000 show.
Okay.
There's no way.
Damn.
I know.
Right.
As much as I would like to see it, but yeah, I definitely can see them growing into, like stern allies, like you stay on your side, I stay on my side, but when push comes to shove, I can count on you. That's the kind of feeling I get from both of them.
Yeah.
I was a little confused about the handcuff thing. So Juliet handcuffed them together.
Okay,
right?
so that's the twist. Yeah, because we're led to believe basically when the others take off, they gas everyone and leave.
Yeah.
And then most of the episode is Kate and Juliet handcuffed to each other out in the jungle trying to survive. They don't know why. They have to run from the monster. Kate dislocates Juliet's shoulder. I think Juliet still gets the upper hand by laying the truth on Kate, teaching her some lessons. Because thanks to the writers, the others, they're conveniently skilled. Like Juliet just happens to be an excellent like psychoanalyst. How?
Right?
I don't know. But yeah. but the twist is when they're gonna get killed by old Smokey the monster, and Kate doesn't want to run through the sound audio pylons. Juliet reveals that she has a key and she unlocks the handcuffs and she goes puts punches in the code and stuff, and that's when she reveals uh, Ben left her behind,
Mm-hmm.
and she doesn't want to be left behind, so she kind of faked it that, well, this is weird. She Either way, she got left behind, but
Mm-hmm.
she was faking it that they were like chained up together, I guess, for appearances,
Mm.
just so they could feel like they're in the same boat. Because I mean, technically, she did get left behind.
Yeah.
It's just she wanted to go through this whole facade of them being like handcuffed together, as if maybe they had something in common. Maybe makes her look more like a victim. Uh, and they don't really explain if she actually got gassed or not,
Mm.
because that means she would have had to wake up a lot sooner than everyone else.
Yeah.
So instead of just
Mm.
waking up with everyone being like, "Hey, I'm here too," she drags Kate out to the jungle, quote unquote, fakes passing out, and then like they wake up together and like, "Hey, we're in this together," all because she
Okay.
doesn't want to be left behind.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess like it would have been nice to have not just Jack on her side, but also potentially like Kate, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, they left us out here, chained up, go figure. And then
Yeah.
somewhere along the way be like, oh, hey, I found the key. Let's try it out, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it would have been easier to do that, but that didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Because okay, like as soon as like the two of them start fighting and all this stuff, I'm watching the show. I'm like, damn, I'm really happy Elizabeth Mitchell's in this show. Like, she's such a great addition to the cast
Mm-hmm.
as a series regular. Because it's one thing to bring them in like as a guest star or a recurring character, but to bring her in as a series regular, I'm like, this is a great character. I love
Mm-hmm.
this. Um, but yeah, so they end up running from Smokey early on, and Juliet's freaking out. She has no idea what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it's all a lie.
A ruse.
A ruse. She did know because she knows that the pylons stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the smoke monster like attacks, but it can't get through it, and she just stares it down. Oh, but what was interesting is when they were in the tree hiding, like there was like white flashes this time. That was new.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it taking pictures of them?
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. It was
Right?
like hovering around them, giant white flashes, and then it immediately retracted. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, what's going on? What are you doing? What are you?
Oh man.
Oh man. I have so many
Yeah.
questions. None of them are being answered.
And what did she say? She said something like, "We don't exactly know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but they know how to stop it or like protect
Yeah,
themselves
we
from it."
yeah, we know it doesn't like the sound barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. Let's go to the B plot because I really enjoyed the B plot, and that was essentially Hurley convinces Sawyer that they're going to have a vote whether or not to banish him from the island
Mm-hmm.
over he's a jerk over everything he's been doing lately.
Mm-hmm.
So Sawyer spends the rest of the episode like trying to figure it out, like like he's trying to figure out like how to catch fish and fend for himself, and he realizes this sucks.
Yeah.
So he ends up trying to figure out ways to win the hearts and minds of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this. Like, it was cute. It was fun. It was a good difference in tone from the Kate and Juliet story.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it.
And I think also like kind of just like to clear the air of like the Nikki Paolo stuff too.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of my thing. Like, this episode was fine. At least it wasn't the Nikki Paolo episode.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think also like yeah, like it's a lot more playful in regards to like the beachgoers. Um and yeah, and yeah, it does a lot of cool just like character things and a little bit like world building in that like yeah, Sawyer can hardly catch a fish, let alone like clean it and gut it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Hurley just kind of looks at him and is like, "Did you try and gut a fish yourself? We've been on this island like 3 months and you don't know how to do that yet?" Like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I guess that makes sense. Like that's something that like early on you'd think like, yeah, we would have to figure out how to do this ourselves,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? Because like I only ever see like Sun and Jin using the net to fish. I don't think they also want to be like gutting the fish every single day, you know? Like that would
Mm-hmm.
suck. Like you want to change it up, you know? You want to
Mm-hmm.
not do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, I don't know. I thought that was great. I love how awkward he is just trying to talk to Claire
Oh, oh
about baby
yeah.
Aaron. It's like, hey, he's not as wrinkly as he was a couple weeks ago. Like
I thought Claire's reaction was so great. She's like, yeah, you're right.
oh man.
And he gives her the blankets. He's like, here, and he even catches himself to, not a fan of blankets. uh, but yeah, and then he's helping Desmond catch the boar. I think Desmond just did it himself.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, and then so Sawyer ends up cooking like this big old meal for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Which
looked
he
really
like
delicious.
yeah, like he has it over a spit. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, they got the palm leaves underneath it, so it's
Mm-hmm.
like slow roasting.
Oh,
And
and
he's soaking it in beer.
he's soaking it in a Dharma beer. I'm
I
like,
was
dude,
like,
this is perfect.
this is great. Like,
Yeah.
and like Hurley cut or like somebody was cutting up like pineapple too.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
they got pineapple and pork. Like this is
Yeah.
Matt, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to this beach.
Let's go
Like
get
that's
lost.
just yeah, let's get lost.
Yeah. Man, I've only it reminded me of I guess it was a pig because that looked like a pig, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they were hunting pig. I've only I think had pig like that once. It
Mm,
was a baby shower, I think, out in LA. There's a friend of mine. She was having a
dang.
baby shower. I didn't realize like the outer shell. It's not. I mean, it's skin, but it when you cook it, like it turns into like it gets hard like a shell. So
Mm,
very crispy. Like you really got a crunch. Oh, so
mhm,
good.
mm,
Yeah, but that
mm,
looked good. And then that's when Sawyer realizes that there was never going to be a vote.
mhm,
Hurley just did it to Sawyer even says this like, but like you forced me to be nice
mhm.
or
You
something
conned
like that.
me into being
Oh,
nice.
you conned me into being nice. It's like,
Mhm,
yeah. And Hurley says, like, because you kind of are a leader now, dude. Like, and he started naming it. It's like, yeah, Jack, Kate, Locke, Saeed, they're all gone.
mhm,
Uh, so that kind of leaves Sawyer. And so, like Sawyer doesn't want it. And I love how he said, he's like, I don't want to be leader. And Hurley replies, you think Jack wanted to?
mhm,
It's like, yeah. And I think it was interesting because this is the cute fun side of Sawyer that we talk about a lot and how we often forget how bad of a dude he is. And
mhm,
this episode really hammers that in. Like we're focusing on fun Sawyer right now. But I think there has been a lot of growth with him as a character. And I think he's kind of starting to realize that as well, especially now that Sawyer straight up called it out. Like he's kind of their leader right now.
mhm.
Or at the very least, everyone is looking to him to make
Yeah.
choices. And I think that's a good move, on the writers, because like, yeah, you can only do the uh, bad guy with the heart of soul for so long.
You mean heart of
And
gold,
when I say heart,
heart of soul?
ooh, even better.
What are you
I,
doing?
yeah, no, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he can only be like, you know, like the roguish bad boy for
yeah,
so
because
long before that
they've
gets
made him the
old.
butt of a lot of jokes,
Yeah.
and it works because of how harsh he is when he comes back from it.
Mm-hmm.
At least when it's good episodes. A lot other times they're just okay, not good episodes. Um, but yeah, I think it's really interesting to see Sawyer's character progressing in this way, which is interesting because we get to see his baby mama in the flashbacks, and she teams up with Kate, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe there was a chance between the two. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's it was interesting. So like, even though Sawyer didn't really have anything to do with Kate's backstory, it did also feel like a part of his story.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. The whole, Sawyer as a leader storyline. I guess I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'm also curious to see, like, I'm curious to see his story going forward, especially because, like, okay, he won a lot of points with people this episode. Everybody's like, okay, like, he seems nice, he'll potentially like start trying to step up, maybe even if it's reluctantly. The one person who isn't buying it is Sun.
Yeah. I'm
And
really
they
curious how that relationship goes forward as well.
Yeah, and they showed her like several times, like where they look at each other, and she when they see him fishing, and like she kind of smiles because she realizes like the ridiculousness of it, and then that smile really quickly fades away
Yeah.
because she knows what he did. He told Charlie to go beat her up and make it look like the others,
Yeah.
just because, you know
Mm-hmm.
so she very much knows that Sawyer deep down probably isn't a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I'm pretty sure she's going to be careful, going forward.
Yeah.
I love this island.
Yeah, man. It's
I love this
crazy.
island. Yeah. Yeah, and I get like, yeah, like, I don't know. I know I make fun of it sometimes, but like, I love the show, because even though this episode was fine, it's moments like that I'm kind of living for, where it's like, yeah, okay, fine. Like the Sawyer stuff was like fun this episode, but I was really excited about Sun, and just like her quick little like looks and glances, and like,
Mm-hmm.
here's Sawyer holding a baby, and he looks over at Sun, and Sun's just like, nope, I'm not buying it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, like, that's what I'm living for. That's what's keeping me going with this. Like, yes, give me more.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the drama. Give me the tension.
Oh yeah.
Ah, lost.
Speaking of tension, let's talk about the ending real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Jack wakes up, he has the whole scene with Kate, and she's like, well, what do we do now? He's like, well, now we go back. So Jack,
Mm-hmm.
Kate, and
The way he
Saeed.
says it too. The way he says it, he's defeated and he hates
Yeah.
it. He's just like, we go back.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they head back off to camp with Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
And Saeed even says, we're not taking her with us. She's like, yeah, we are. Why? I don't even remember the line. Because and he turns to the camera and says, she got left behind. Not literally, but that's what it felt like. Again,
no, I'm pretty sure that's exactly
shot.
what he said.
Yeah, he didn't look at the camera though.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It wasn't as cheesy as that, but she got left behind. Yeah, again, that's another shot for how many times they say left behind.
Uh-huh.
But that was a really nice moment because like there's a lot of tension there between them. Like, ooh, man, and that's how it ends. So she's gonna have to go live with the castaways now. Like, oh damn, that's gonna be very interesting.
Wonder how that's gonna go over with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think okay. What are you thinking for MVP here?
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah.
I don't think Evangeline Lilly did good, but I mean this. I don't think this was one of her best episodes. I don't think this was like a really good Kate episode. Like I just I can't give it to her. I think I'm gonna give it to Elizabeth Mitchell.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with you there. because she definitely comes away with this as the more complex character. You know, just the fact that like she put herself in this situation
Mm-hmm.
solely to get on everybody's good side. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And we didn't really like. I didn't really see it coming. You know, I'm
oh
like,
yeah, I didn't
oh, I'm
either.
like, that's a brilliant move. You know, very
Yeah,
others of her.
yeah, exactly. And it feels like even though she wants to like deny and push away from Ben so much, his influence is already there. The fact that she
Yeah.
did all of this, like it's a very Ben thing to do. So
Mm-hmm.
he's like, yeah.
Jeez. So, other than that, who do you any takers?
Can I say Hurley?
You could say Hurley,
I'm gonna say Hurley because, like, speaking of manipulation,
right?
Hurley's kind of becoming really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like just being all like, like coming up to Sawyer, kicking his foot, and being like, "Talk to me, but don't look like you're talking to me." You know, trying
Yeah.
to do this
Yeah.
whole like fake thing and be like, "There's gonna be a vote," like just the whole ruse of it all. It's like,
Yeah.
and then at the end, to just be like, "Yeah, doesn't it feel good to be nice?"
Mm-hmm.
Also, you're kind of our leader now, so people are gonna start looking to you for answers. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, what an interesting, like, he's saying all that, and I'm like, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
He was just so good. You know, he's like,
yeah.
I don't know,
Hey, when you're that
protect at
rich,
all
you
costs,
gotta
man.
be a couple of steps ahead of everybody else.
I
Like
guess so.
he's
Yeah.
he's protecting. He's not even really protecting his own interest. He's just protecting his friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's protecting his friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's really nice. That's what this whole episode has been about, just people looking out for each other. And Hurley, despite everything, he's going to look out for Sawyer. And
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he did call him rotund.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I don't really have any cool behind the scenes tidbits or anything like that.
Mm,
It's just it was a good episode. You know, it
yeah.
wasn't great.
It was
Definitely
fun.
wasn't bad. So it was fine. It was good.
Mm-hmm,
Right in the
mm-hmm,
middle.
mm-hmm.
Um, it definitely sets up some things though. You know, and I think a lot of it's going to be Juliet going forward. Like, what's this mean
Mm-hmm,
for Juliet? You
mm-hmm.
know, having to live with people who have been just terrorized by the others since they got here.
Yeah.
So, also, I'm curious because she's another. What kind of answers does she have?
Yeah.
How? I doubt it. But how? Like, what are we gonna do with that? Because we talked about how it would have been great to keep Carl around a little bit, just to try and get
Mm-hmm,
some knowledge out of him.
mm-hmm.
Now that Juliet's going to go live with them, I wonder how much we're actually going to get.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
anything at all. Also, where are the others going?
Right? I don't know.
Back to the little island? I mean, they
Probably.
look pretty cush there. I don't know. I kind of thought like, well, what if the survivors just move in here?
That's 100% what I thought.
Right?
Yeah.
They have working water, electricity.
Mm-hmm. Seemingly like food,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it doesn't look like they were doing any Dharma drops there, but I mean, I'm sure they could just take all the Dharma food and like bring it over to this,
Yeah. They had
suburbia that they
houses.
have. Yeah. They had a football field.
Well, yeah, it was just a big field that they
It was
used for
it,
football.
it was a field, yeah, but
Yeah.
they played football, they
Yeah.
were fine.
Yeah. I don't know. You just have to survive the smoke monster. And you got Juliet, so she can lower the fence.
That's true.
Hmm.
Hmm. I don't know.
Questionable
Seems
decision, Jack.
seems too
Questionable
good to be
decision.
true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, maybe we'll find out next week. Maybe not. As we talk about season 3, episode 16, One of Us. What is that
Mm.
from? One of Us. One of Us. What movie is that?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like I feel like they use that a lot. Maybe they do. Maybe they do it in recess. 'Cause remember, like the kindergartners are all like
they have the little,
they all the like
little wild
paint on their
kids.
face. Yeah, they're all
Mhm.
super wild. They got spears and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
no, no.
we probably won't have that answered by next week. But season 3, episode 16, One of Us, in which Juliet can't catch a freaking break because now she has to live amongst a group of people who really don't trust her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's essentially what we've been talking about. So that's just what I put on the teaser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, guys, let us know what you think of Juliet. Can we trust her? Can we not? Who's she going to end up with? Jack? Kate? Oh, what are the ship names?
Juliet, Jack.
Ah, it's 2 J's. That's weird.
That's 2 J's. Yeah. Juck.
Juck.
No.
Juck.
Ugh,
That's how you
like
know
that.
they're not meant to be together. They're not the OTP.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what about Juliet and Kate?
Juliet?
Juliet?
I don't know.
Juliet's a hard one to mix and match. Jut. No. Jate. Jate. Well, no, because that'd be more like Jack. I feel like Jack and Kate would be Jate.
Yeah, they would.
Okay, no. Jack and Kate will be Jack, Kate, Cake. They'll just be Cake with a K, okay? Jack and Cake are Cake with a K. Juliet and
God.
Kate are Jate.
Jate.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So,
Aye.
and Locke and Ben would be
Block.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Done and done.
Okay. So let us know who your favorite ship is on Lost. Hit us up at hashtag Lost Legacies. I'm on Twitter @Matt Jimenez and on Instagram @HolyHandGrenade of Antioch.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Reel. That's REEL Texas Weirdo.
Till next time, get lost.
Get lost.